AI have gotten pretty crazy lately, or so I have heard. And what better way to test that out than to have AI create a game for me? I'll be using ChatGPT to create every single line of code within the game. And when I say every line of code, I mean like 95% of the code, because there are actually some things that I have to do myself. Wow, what a shame. Also, this will be the first time I actually use ChatGPT, so yeah. Let's see if this thing is as crazy as people say it is. This is a story of my new best friend and our AAA Game of the Year Game Award game, yeah. I started by asking our AI friend to make the most important, significant and impactful decision that will single-handedly shape the whole trajectory of our game. Should I add a bean or a square? It seems like you're asking whether you should add a bean or square to something, but I need more context to provide. Hey bro, should I add a bean or square? I'm really lost here, I need help, please. I apologize for the confusion. If you're looking for a suggestion between adding a bean or square, it really depends on the context and what you try. What is the purpose or intention behind adding the bean or square? Are you looking for a decorative element, a functional component, or something else? Understand? I don't know, man. Can you just for me? It's a very big decision, so I don't know if I can handle it. As an AI language model, I don't have personal preferences, but I can offer some. Just choose for me, please. If you would like me to choose between a bean and a square, I would suggest adding a square. Alright, so we are adding a square. But alright, let's ask him what kind of game we should make. How about a platformer game where the player controls a character who must navigate through a series of levels filled with obstacles, enemies and power-ups? Okay, so like Mario then? Let's continue. Let's see, let him cook. Title, Jump and Run Adventure. Okay, that might be the worst name of a game I ever heard, but okay, I guess we'll run with it. Gameplay. The player controls a character who can jump, run, and shoot, optional, through a series of 2D levels filled with obstacles, enemies, and power-ups. The objective is to reach the end of each level, defeating enemies and avoiding hazards along the way. Okay, let's continue. Obstacles, pits, spikes, moving platforms. Enemies may be able to shoot projectiles, fly, and other special abilities. Power-ups, extra lives, health boost, weapon upgrades. Okay. We can work with this. So our game, fucking jump and run adventure, will basically be Mario but with guns. First thing first, we need to be able to move our bean, I mean square. So let's ask ChatGPT to make a movement script. And I'm actually very curious to see if this just works right away or not. Wow, it actually works, but the jumping is kind of weird and doesn't work all the time. And that's because the code checks the input for jumping on fixed update and not update. So I asked him to fix it and he did. Wow. So then I asked him what kind of weapons we should have, and he said basic firearms, okay. Explosive weapons, melee weapons, special weapons, flamethrowers, laser guns. Who let him cook? I don't know. I think we'll just start with basic firearms. So I think we'll need some kind of scriptable objects here to manage the different stats for the guns, like bullet speed, ammo, reload time, fire rate, and so on. And luckily I have used scriptable objects before, so I kinda know how it works. Kinda. So I asked him to make the scriptable objects, and he provided. And he even started writing code for the shooting itself and how you could implement the gun stats to it. And even though I didn't ask him to do that, that's nice of you, wow. So let's make our first gun with our scriptable object, an FG45. Sure, why the fuck not? And let's have our friend Chat, write the shooting and reloading for us. And he even added in code for sound effects. Who is this guy? He thinks about everything. Okay, so after a very long discussion with Chat regarding some bugs about the shooting, that I'm just going to skip over because this video is gonna take forever. Boom, we have a working F45 that can shoot and reload and uses the stats from the scriptable objects. Nice. And then something funny happened. While I asked Chat to fix some bugs regarding the shooting, he just out of nowhere started writing a script for the enemy AI, and he even made it so the enemies can shoot at you. And I didn't even mention anything about making enemies yet, but it just worked out of the box, like, wow, thanks Chat, one step ahead as always. But our player is acting very silly. He is like my grandma falling down the stairs, and we don't want that. So I asked Chat to freeze his rotation, and boom, nice. And also, while we're at it, let's have him make a camera follow script. Nice. This is where Chat excels. creating relatively simple things fast so you don't have to do it yourself. But when you want him to make something more complicated, like a dash ability for example, it may be a little challenging for him. I swear there are like hundreds of pages of me asking him to rewrite the code for a dashing ability. No matter what, the dashing just wouldn't work as intended. And I kept going through the space and time continuum while dashing, so that's not optimal. After a very long anger-filled discussion with him, I tried doing it myself, but I couldn't get it to work either, so I was like, okay, let's just fix it later, we got more important stuff to do. First, let's make it so the gun rotates with the mouse, cause right now, it just stands there, menacingly. So, me and Chat fixed it and it works perfectly, as always, no problems here, no. Then me and Chat decided it was time to make some health bars and UI. And what I like about Chat is that he is very detailed and gives me a step-by-step process on how to set things up. And that's very thoughtful, thank you. So now we have a health bar for the players. Let's have one for the enemies. Again, he just tells me how to do it and it works, nice. And then we still have a pretty vital part of the game that we haven't even started on yet, the weapon pickup system. And to be fair, I have no idea how this will work, so I just prayed that Chat would carry me on this one. So I asked him to create a code for it, and it worked kind of, but there were some boring bugs and stuff that I won't go into detail about. I had to rewrite it a bit, but in the end, it worked out pretty well. He can hold one weapon at a time, and he can switch it out with another weapon from the ground. There aren't a lot of weapons to switch with though, and that kinda sucks, so I had to make some new ones, and since we made a system for different guns using scriptable objects and the pickup system, it meant that I basically didn't need any code for this part, so Chat could rest a little bit and see his family for once. If I let him see his family, that is. So we have a sniper, which does a lot of damage per bullet, but you can only fire once before reloading. SMG, which fires many bullets at once, but is best at close range. A revolver, which only has 6 bullets, but they do decent damage and are decently fast. And the FG45 rifle, which is decent at everything. And also, a sword? Yeah bro. So when making the sword, I wanted to have a swing animation, but that didn't work at all, so yeah, fuck that. Me and Chat are doing way better without animations anyways. The sword does a lot of damage up close, but you have to do the wiggle if you want to do damage with it. And after that, I want some more power-ups. So I asked the Chat to make all of them, and they more or less worked right out of the box. We have shield power-up, which makes you invulnerable to attacks for a certain amount of time. A speed power-up, which makes you twice as fast for a short amount of time. And a health thing, which heals you. And now I tried implementing the dash ability again. And this time, for some reason, with just a little bit back and forward discussion with Chat, it ended up working out, nice. And now I think we can start creating the levels, but while making the first level, I realized something that you probably also have realized a long time ago. This game looks like crap, and that's partially because the game is crap. But also because we haven't done any effort to make the game actually look good. But I don't think my buddy can make my game look magically good out of nowhere. So I found a very nice video from Daddy Brakis and followed his advice. I implemented a color palette which mostly became this blue and yellow kind of vibe, like IKEA look. And I added some lights here and there to the different objects and to the level and stuff. And I changed the layout a little bit, and also added this awesome shield to the shield pickup that I found from opengameart.org. Nice. So now the game looks better. I then made 2 levels, one tutorial level and one actual level, and I tried my best to include every mechanic and weapon and power-up that me and Chat have made so far. Fun fact. While making the first level, I discovered that you can climb walls in this game for no reason. A totally intentional game mechanic, yeah, I know. And yeah, I made some menus, game over screens, a pause menu, and I built the game and put it on itch.io. So if you want to play Jump and Run Adventure, that fucking name, you can play it there for free, link in description. And keep in mind that the game is very rushed, so keep your standards low, you feel me? There aren't even sounds or particle effects in this game, but maybe I will come back and fix that and add some more levels in the future. Anyways, that's it. Smash subscribe or our buddy Chat here is gonna pay the price. Bye.